From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD, Primetime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. And it is time for the premier sports betting show. And man, it was a good weekend. It was a great weekend. It was one of those weekends this weekend. Big time stuff happening this weekend with the big fight between Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Tank Davis actually goes ahead and knocks out Ryan Garcia in the 7th round with a monster body shot for the stoppage. Is he now the face of boxing? I don't really throw that title around too much and too often on guys because, pretty much for a while they've had their choice in Canelo. But in reality, though, Canelo losing his last fight, his fight to Bivol, and kind of having a whatever fight against Triple G, and then the fight before that, people weren't very entertained by that one either. Well, no, it was Caleb Plant. Let me take that back. But I feel like when Canelo lost to Bivol, he lost whatever it was that called him the face of boxing at that time. He took on a fight that he didn't necessarily have to take on, and he got beat by a guy who's a very, very good opponent. But it also showed that he's not the most superior boxer in boxing right now. He stepped up a division, and he couldn't handle the heat. And you can't say that this guy's the face of boxing because he has somebody that's better than him right now. And that's Bivol. Yeah, Bivol's better. Get over it. Those are the things that you have to deal with at the end of the day. It happens. Fighters only have a short-term success rate. Guys like Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler, Hearns, all the guys that you guys just always look up to, it's going to be tough to be those guys because those guys they took it to different levels for this. You know what I mean? And I don't know if today's boxers have those different levels in them. But I can say this young man, Tank Davis, I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't care for Tank personally. I know the guy. I've been around the guy. He's not, he's the guy that, I wouldn't say, hey, he's the coolest guy in the world. I would say that, he's just like anybody else, young, living life, having fun, a little rude. But hey, that's all of us when we're young and the world tells us how great we are. But when it comes down to that ring, I'm going to tell you one thing. This guy's special, really special. And Ryan Garcia is an elite fighter. And he made Ryan Garcia look like a C-grade fighter in this fight. And yes, I think this possibly was Tank's best opponent because he was matching the energy that Tank had as well, too. And pretty much what happened here is that we had a great pay-per-view event with two of the brightest stars in boxing. And the guy who's the older gentleman here was able to win the fight because he's been in more fights. He just has more experience in this situation. Both guys been fighting since they were young amateurs. Tank was 5, Ryan was 7. So this was a fight that probably had a lot of hype to it because they're not that far apart in age either. They're guys that probably have been pining to fight each other for a long time, and they did. And they knew that they were going to make a lot of money when they got this fight together. They knew that they were going to get the attention of the fight world as well too, and they did exactly what people have been waiting on. Put together a big fight. It doesn't matter what we say during the lead up to the fight. It's all about what happens in that squared circle. And I think when you get down to the nitty gritty of this one, everybody walks away with a big smile on their face. Regardless of how people feel today, Tank and Ryan won big time. These guys have pretty much made themselves pay-per-view fighters now. You'll never really see these guys on your Showtime regular broadcast anymore. You won't see them on an ESPN regular broadcast anymore. Every time you see these guys, you're going to have to pay for it. And pretty much they went ahead and established themselves as boxing superstars. Winning and losing really didn't matter at the end of the day. It's as long as they got it together. And don't ever believe that they won't do another one, because this one already did great numbers, and I could still really feel like they could do another one. They could easily do another one because how well this fight did, and people would sign up to watch number 2 between these guys as well too. So there it is. There it is. A great rivalry in boxing was born, and I think that it pretty much went the way that a lot of us thought it would go. Everybody felt like Tank was going to stop the fight, and I felt like it was going to be a body shot about a month ago. And then the rest of the world tried to pile on to that after the fact, but it's okay. Tank's a great fighter. It doesn't matter which way he beat him. He beat him. And he finished the job. He did what he had to do. And once again, Tank went ahead and cashed that check. You can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? And Tank is doing both. All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and move forward to our next topic in hand, and that's going to be about the NFL draft. Young looks like the lock for the number 1 pick to the Panthers. Where will Stroud land now since negative reports have been revealed? All right. So pretty much what I see now with Mr. Stroud, we have a guy that I'll keep it real with you. When I saw him during the draft, not draft, but during the Super Bowl week, he seemed like a guy that was kind of, happy to be in the NFL. You know what I mean? Happy that he's already here, but he wasn't on a team yet. But he was hanging out with the guys like he was already a 5-year vet in the league. And, they're all real cool when they meet you over at, these events and everything like that. But they still got to watch you play. And I think that he was a bit too comfortable kibitzing with guys who are already vets. Nothing's wrong with that. But you know how guys kind of feel like they're already here. They've already established something. Like they're already a part of the group. They're a part. They're not a part of anything yet. They have to get drafted first. They have to be in the NFL first. He's a great kid. He's a great player. But I know that there's a lot of things. There's a lot of red flags against him. They said the kid didn't show up to the Manning camp. That doesn't really make a difference. That's not a big deal. That's just more as them using your name to sell their camp. That's all that is. So I understand that part. They also said that he was kind of, he kind of didn't break down his tape the way that they would like him to break down his tape. He kind of was looked at, I do what I do. And I think that a lot of it's just a lot of BS. Because you always got to find something wrong with these guys to say that you're not drafting them. But usually it's the team that is drafting them that's leaking out all the bad information. I told you guys a month ago that if you're going to draft a quarterback between Stroud and Young, when you look at the talent and you look at the measurables and you look at the tape and you look at what a guy can do, you say, okay, I'm taking this guy Stroud because his game seems like it really complements to the NFL. But I told you guys that the player that you truly take is Bryce Young. It's because you can't coach his leadership. And also, he's a very, very smart kid. And so he can adjust to whatever pressure that you have coming to him. He can make it work. He can do things without the assistance of his head coach. A lot of times, Stroud was looking to that sideline, looking for the plays, looking for things, and it never seemed like he knew how to ad-lib. I've seen Bryce Young ad-lib plenty of times. The best time I saw him do it was when they beat Texas in a game that they should have lost to Texas. And those are the things that separate guys like Young and Stroud. Stroud has all the measurements that says that he's going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback. But Bryce has the brain that says that he'll be an all-pro quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback. That's the difference. I think Bryce gives you more of the Super Bowl winning traits, and Stroud gives you more of the I'm going to be a Pro Bowler or I'm going to be a burnout traits. I like both these players a lot. If I was a GM, it would be tough for me to select these players. But when I really look at who would be the more impactful player from day one in the NFL, who may not have as much pressure on him if I don't pick him number one, it's going to be CJ Stroud. We know that Bryce Young was gonna have pressure on him regardless because he was the Heisman Trophy winner and he played for Alabama. So if he would have been not considered the number one pick in the draft and felt like the safest quarterback to pick in the draft to Carolina, most likely Bryce Young wouldn't probably even be getting picked in the first round. But this is because this quarterback class really does lack on the depth at the quarterback position. We don't have a lot of quarterbacks in this draft that can make themselves a day one starter. And the Carolina Panthers need a day one starter. The Houston Texans need a day one starter, but they're fine with not picking a quarterback at number 2. And the Indianapolis Colts need a day one starter. So right now for CJ, it's really simple. It's going to be the Colts. You know what I mean? Unless somebody moves up to 3 to come get him, he's going number 4 to the Colts. Let's just go ahead and just mark it down now. And that's how I'm feeling. And that's how I feel this is going to go, because I don't know if you put Richardson or Levis over Stroud. Stroud had NFL wide receivers with him. The other 2 didn't. Okay, so we can just end it at that. It's that simple. So that's my point. There it is. I think Stroud goes no further than 4. He stays in the top 5. And from what I'm hearing, Seattle could possibly be there as well, too. Seattle's drafting 5th. The Raiders have already said they're not taking a quarterback here, so we already have them out the room. So if he really does somewhat fall, you can see Tampa Bay moving up to go get him. Just think about that. Tampa Bay can move up and go get him. And then you still have Atlanta that's sitting out there, and they could get a little antsy and say, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. So there's a lot of options. There's a lot of things here. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that's going to be that's going to be a wrap on that topic in hand. So let's go ahead and move forward and talk about game 4 tonight in the playoffs. Tonight, we got 2 playoff games tonight, Monday playoff games. We got the Lakers. We'll talk about them in a moment with State of the Lakers. But we got the Bucks and the Heat tonight. The Southeast champion going against the Central champion. Number 1 versus number 8. And the number 8 seed is up 2 games to 1. So I would say that, do we have a surprise here? Yes, we do, but it's really not a surprise because their best player is not there in Giannis. So what do? We look at this game and we say to ourselves that, you know, we have ourselves a very peculiar look here. We have 2 teams that really do kind of play up to they're playing up to their mantras. You know, you got a Heat team that's very you know, they're kind of stagnant because they'll be really good one game and then they'll be really bad the next game. And you just don't know what team you're getting when you play these guys, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So there's just a lot of things that you say to yourself that, you know, you want to really get down to the basics of things here. But I truly do say that when it comes down to this exact series, that you have a team in the Bucks who kind of putting some pressure on themselves. They can make this thing a lot more easier than they really need to, but they're putting a little pressure on themselves because they don't have Giannis, all right? And I think they're good enough to win this series without Giannis, but there's still things that they have to work out as a whole, as a team. And I don't think that they're all the way comfortable yet, but they'll get comfortable tonight. I think Miami had a really good win because it was a Saturday. It was at home. Their crowd was jumping. They were in it. They were seen as not being able to win that game by any means necessary because no Tyler Hero. So once again, there had to be an adjustment tonight. I think Milwaukee understands that they can't go down 3-1. It's just that simple, and they're gonna have to get this thing together about nowish so they can go ahead and move forward in this series and win this series. You know what I mean? Because the Bucks are expected to win this series. Now, the Bucks were the team that everybody was picking in the Eastern Conference. Now everybody's kind of hesitant. It looks like Boston, the team that I picked in the Eastern Conference, may have themselves an easy walk to the finals because you have a lot of issues going on with Philadelphia right now, who just swept the Brooklyn Nets. They really wish they would have lost to the Nets so they could have gave themselves some extra days to let Joel Embiid actually heal. But now they're on the mercy of Boston, hoping Boston possibly gets upset game 5, because if they don't, they're going to be meeting very soon this week. So tonight in this game, I will say this. I say the Heat cover. I don't know if they win the game, but I think the Heat cover the +7.5 one last time here at home. And I think that the Bucks probably do win this game by 4 or less, like 3 to 4 points tonight. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. Let's go ahead, jump into the state of the Lakers. And the state of the Lakers brings us here. The state of the Lakers. And we have ourselves a good one tonight. Game 4 at the Crypt with the Grizzlies. Grizzlies are the 2 seed. Lakers the 7 seed. Lakers hold a 2-1 series lead as well. Saturday night, the Lakers were absolutely unhinged. They were something serious Saturday night. Lakers jumped out to a monster lead in the first half of that game. And they also jumped out to a monster lead in the first quarter, only allowing 9 points. And the Lakers did a damn good job in the first half. They allowed 37 points. They want to kind of clean it up, though. Another 60-plus point half. The next half, though, they scored 64 points. And I was telling you guys that with the Lakers, it's weird because in the first 2 games, the Lakers gave up over 60 in the first half in Memphis, and then they wound up giving up less than 50 in the second half in both of those games, one being 44 and the other being 47. So the Lakers, all in all, are playing great defense for a half. Then in the next half, they're not playing great defense. But that just goes to show you how good this Grizzlies team is. Everybody's treating the Grizzlies like they're the 7 seed and they're the 2 seed. Ja Morant had 45 points on Saturday. I think that's what pretty much was very helpful for the Lakers, that he was their only main scorer. And they lost Dylan Brooks as well, too, who only played 19 minutes. They lost him early in the third quarter. So this is something that, the Lakers kind of, they kind of caught them off guard and they were able to take advantage of it. They didn't get a lot in game 3. They had some effort from Bane and Jackson, but that was it. Lakers, once again, as I always say, if the Lakers can get 5 starters or 5 players in double figures, then you're not going to beat them. And the Lakers did exactly that, led by Anthony Davis getting 31 points to 17 rebounds as well. And then you had LeBron James get his 25 points to his 9 rebounds. And then you also had a big effort from Rue off the bench with 16. And then D'Angelo Russell finally came to life, and he actually scored 17 points, and Reeves chipped in 13. So the Lakers are played some great basketball on Saturday, but they know today is really the tough game because they don't want to split in LA. They really don't, because if they split in LA, the series becomes a 50-50. If they win in LA tonight, I think that the Lakers take care of this 1-6 because they're not going to win the next game in Memphis. They're not going to win game 5 in Memphis. Memphis will be ready for that one. They'll bring out all the stops for that one. I think the Lakers, as I said before, win the home games. That's all the Lakers got to do is win the home games. They won their one road game that they needed to win. Now, just win these road games. Now, the Lakers did get out-rebounded by 2. The Grizzlies grabbed 50 rebounds. I don't like that type of effort for a team that scored 101 points. That just means they left a lot of points on the board. They put up 93 shots, only hit 35 of them. I don't expect that effort tonight either as well. Even though, they led in the three-point category, they still threw up 39 of them and only made 13. So there was a lot of things that just worked out in the Lakers' favor. But when you look at the numbers, this game could have been a lot closer. But you take away that first quarter and the game, it's a different game. It's truly a different game because you got to understand the Lakers were up 26. They won by 10. So when you look at the game and you look at everything to the game, the Lakers really had to have that big quarter to win this game, because if you only win by 10, that means they caught up with you for the rest of the game. And the Lakers only won 2 quarters in this game, and that was the first and the third. So you have to put those into fruition, and the Lakers know that tonight's game is going to be very much different. What's going on? Rise above anything. All right, so that's a powerful name too, man. So pretty much tonight, the Lakers, they have to be ready. This is not a guarantee. The Lakers got the win that they needed to get, so they're up 2-1, but they can't worry about what happened on Saturday. They can only worry about what's happening tonight. Tonight is a must-win situation because they're at home. Now, when you get back to Memphis, whatever, but in LA, you got to win these games so you can get out of this first round. You do not want to play Game 7 in Memphis. I promise you that. You don't want to play Game 7 in Memphis, and you want to get this thing over with by 6. And I think the Lakers can go ahead and get this over with by 6, but they have to win tonight. And, it doesn't have – at the end of the day, if they lose, it's not going to be the end of the world. But momentum goes back to Memphis, and the Lakers are a momentum-type team. And I feel like the Lakers have to keep the momentum in this series, and they'll be able to go ahead and be successful in this series. And winning tonight, they hold the momentum even if they go to Memphis and lose on Wednesday. So those are things we put into play, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out tonight. But I look forward to a very, very good game between the Lake Show and the Grizzlies. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and take my first commercial break. And when I get back, we're going to go ahead and jump into some baseball. We're going to talk Blue Crew Daily, and then we're also going to talk about the 3 top games that I have for Monday's night baseball. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we are back, and let's go ahead and jump into our next topic, and that's going to be this. It's going to be the Blue Crew Daily, and the Dodgers win 3 out of 4 this weekend in the at Wrigley. and pretty much the Dodgers go ahead and they righted some wrongs. Let's just go ahead and say that the Dodgers have been struggling a little bit here in the last few weeks. They hadn't won; it had back-to-back wins in about a week or so, and so pretty much they went ahead and won 3 out of 4 in the series, even though they got absolutely shredded on Friday by the Cubs. They went ahead and bounced back, and pitching was absolutely awesome this weekend after that. They only gave up 2 runs, I think, in each game for this series, except for in game 2 when they gave up 13. They lost 13-0. But James Outman had a weekend this weekend. James Outman actually hit, I think it was 3 home runs in this series. He hit a grand slam on Thursday night. That was the shot that pretty much won the game for the Dodgers. He hit it in the top of the 9th inning. The Dodgers, it was a 2-2 game at that time, and he hit a grand slam. That was his first grand slam of his career as well too. Then he came back around on Saturday, and he hit 2 home runs Saturday afternoon. And they were absolute moonshots as well too, especially the second one where he absolutely cranked that bad boy up out of there. Now it was only 379, but he cranked it up out of there though. From because I was watching the game, and he let that one fly. The first one though almost didn't go out the ball. It actually kind of stayed in the park. Is the one it landed in the little nest over there that's in at Wrigley. But Outman, all in all though, is absolutely playing up to the mantra of being the rookie of the year this year. He's actually been a very big bright spot for the Dodgers. He's batting 311 right now. He has 7 home runs on the season as well too. He has 19 RBIs, 23 hits, 14 runs, and 74 at bats. The kid is special, and he only struck out twice. So that's pretty good. He's batting 311 with the on-base percentage of 400, and that's actually the 3rd best on the Dodgers right now in the starting lineup as well too. So once you get Will Smith back, the Dodgers are going to be really, really, really good, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing here. So we'll see how it goes with that. But all in all, the Dodgers are doing a great job this year on bouncing back, getting things back into perspective. And I think that's really good for this team that had some real questions going into this weekend. And the Dodgers answered them. But like I said before, you can't worry about the Dodgers being bad in April. You got to worry about the Dodgers being bad, say, in October, and they have a losing record. Right now, they're 12-11. And they are tied for first place, but technically they're behind in the tiebreaker because Arizona does own the actual season series lead for the moment. Because you have to understand, these guys played each other 7 times already this year, actually 8 times already this year, and Arizona actually is up in the series this year against them 5-2. 5-3, actually. I'm sorry. So they have that a little bit of an advantage right now. And it's crazy for me to say this right now. Pittsburgh has the best record in the National League. They're 16-7 right now. And they've won their last 7 in a row as well, too. The Dodgers start their series with them tomorrow. So when you look at the pitching matchup for tomorrow, which we'll go deeper into, you'll have Thor on the mound, Syndergaard going against Johan Oviedo. So this should be a pretty good matchup. And it looks like it's going to be a very, very fun matchup as well, too, because Oviedo has been absolute lights out in his last 3 games. Okay, opening day, his opening, he wasn't good in his first start of the season. But since that point, he's only given up 2 runs, and he's actually struck out 21 in his last 3 games. So this guy is going to be real tough to deal with. But we'll have more for you tomorrow when we preview that game and preview the series. But the Dodgers are in a pretty good place right now, back at 12-11, and looking to add on to that. And this is a good place to add on to that against a very surprising Pittsburgh team, because they don't have O'Neal Cruz right now. O'Neal Cruz is actually out for the next 2 months. So, hey, there's some things going on in Pittsburgh. So let's move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into our next topic in hand. That's going to be the Rangers and the Reds. This is a part of my Monday games here. I'm only talking about 3 games right now as well too, but we got a pick six ticket as well too. So you guys, I got you covered, but I just didn't want to go too far into uh, too much baseball today. I wanted to go ahead and just feature these 3 big matchups because a lot of these matchups are, interleague kind of mismatch in a sense as well too. So, I want to make sure we get the ones that I want to talk about, the ones that will bring you the best value. You know what I mean? And I think up first is this Rangers Reds game is a good one because you got a good pitchers matchup coming up in this one. Even though Eovaldi has been struggling this year, Lodelo hasn't. Lodelo has been absolute lights out. He only struck out 4 last time, and he gave up 8 runs, but that was against a very good Tampa Bay Rays team as well too. The Rays are 19-3, so you have to factor in that part. But Lodelo was absolutely studly against Philadelphia. Struck out 18 and only gave up 2 in the 2 games that he pitched against them, and only struck out 9 against the Pirates. So he's coming off of his worst game of the season. It boosted his ERA up to 4.98. Eovaldi absolutely got shell shocked against Kansas City, bounced back against them last week, and actually only gave up 2 runs, struck out 5. Comes back into this one, and it's going to be tough today. But the first 2 games he pitched very well, and he just had a bad game against Kansas City. So now this game today, it really presents 2 teams going in 2 different directions. You have the Rangers who are 14-7, and you have the Reds who we're not surprised. They're 7-15. And Hunter Green, man, my man was on the mound yesterday, wound up actually losing that one as well too. De'Aaron Fox is doubtful for game 5. Wow. When did he fracture his finger? Hopefully he'll just play because they need him. But if he fractured his finger, that's heartbreaking because that means the Kings lose because there's nobody that can replace him on that team. Thank you for the update, man. That sucks, dude. That really sucks. All right, so when I look at this one, I really said to myself that this one will be a closer game than it looks on paper in reality because, when you favor hitters, you're going to favor the Rangers, but Seager's done for the next month or so. So that's going to factor into the Rangers as the schedule gets a little bit harder because let's keep it real. The Rangers have not been playing one of the harder schedules in April. You know what I mean? So 14-7, I'm not really surprised by that because they're not playing against much. So, they played the Phillies, but the Phillies are struggling this month. You know what I mean? And, you played the Astros, but the Astros just got their act together last weekend. So, there's a lot of things. It's still just too early in the season to be giving teams, some type of leeway to say that they're going to run away with anything. So the Rangers and the Reds, I like the plus 1.5 on the Reds today. Lodolo will bounce back in this spot. And Eovaldi, you have to be ready for him to kind of be a shaky pitcher against teams that are under 500. It seems like that's been the issue for him all season. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, so we have ourselves the Astros and the Rays, and this one will be another really good game today as well, too. You got the Astros coming in here 12-10. You got the Rays 19-3. Everybody remembers a few years ago when the Rays went to the World Series, they had to beat the Astros to get there, and what an exciting series that they had with the Astros as well, too. I know a lot of us were really happy when they beat them, but that was a tough series, man, for that team. We're going to go with your cutie is going to be on the mound today. 17 strikeouts over 17 walks, 7 walks. Taj Bradley, who's 2-0, he'll be on the mound today as well, too. He has 17 strikeouts on the season, and he struck out 9 against Cincinnati and gave up no runs and only walked 1 in his last game. So he was able to shrink his ERA down to 2.61 from 5.40, and now he's 2-0 on the season. But Boston and Cincinnati, those might have been the best 2 teams for you to start your career off with. But going against the Astros, this is a whole different animal, in my opinion. And facing the Astros for the first time could be something that's going to be very tricky for you. So today, a day that I probably won't get, but maybe about 5 or 6, 7 more times, or us, I mean us, not just me, but a day that we may not get for another month or so, we got to take advantage of it right now. Yes, the Rays are 19-3. They are awesome. They're only 6-3 since me. They're 6-3 since going undefeated. So that's pretty cool. So pretty much the Astros just swept Atlanta, who I feel was the best team in the National League, because they're going to be there all season. They're not like the Pirates where you question, are they going to be here at the end of the year? You're not going to question the Braves on being here at the end of the year. The Astros went in there and swept them this weekend. And they got a great win over Toronto to close that series out as well, too. So they got 4 high-quality wins in a row. So it's not hard for me to go ahead and do this. And I know that, pretty much we've been struggling with the MLB bet us dog bet of the day. But you know what? We got to keep going up and swinging the bat. And today I'm going to go ahead and take the plus 135, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on the Astros today. And that's going to be our MLB bet us dog bet of the day. So there it is. There it is. That is our bet of the day. The plus 135 on the Houston Astros, the defending world champions. All right, let's move forward. Let's go ahead and talk about our last game that I have on the docket, and it's going to be this one right here. It's going to be the Yankees and the Twins. And this is a pretty good matchup. This is kind of a rematch from about a week or two ago when we had the Twins at Yankee Stadium. Johnny Brito was the pitcher that day. He got absolutely cooked in that spot as well, too. He gave 7 runs in that first inning as well. And so pretty much today, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do it again, because he had a really good game against the Angels last time out. He actually bounced back in that spot. He only gave up 1 run, but he kind of took his time. He didn't overdo it in that game. But it's not like he's a bad pitcher. It's just that the Twins were able to just take advantage of a guy that literally kind of just lost it up there. You know what I mean? He got 2 outs and just couldn't get the inning over with, and it happens sometimes. So today they have a good spot against their former teammate, Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray was an excellent pitcher when he was on the A's, and he's been an excellent pitcher everywhere he's been, in my opinion. And I think that, he's a very good asset to this Minnesota team. So there's a reason why Minnesota is the favorite today. There's big reasons why they're the favorite today, because they struck a pitcher that has an ERA under 1 at .82, 26 strikeouts to 9 walks. And, he's just been lights out. He struck out 7 last time, only gave up a run in that spot. Sonny Gray's pitching like the Cy Young Award winner he was about 4 years ago. So this is going to be another really good game today. And I truly do feel like this one right here is going to be a pitcher's duel. I think Johnny Brito is going to be much better today against the Twins. He's not going to get into as much trouble as he did last time. So I'm going to take the under 7.5 in this spot. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But Twins Yankees is going to be probably our best game of the day. And I like it. I like it a lot. I hope everybody is tuned into it as well. And it should be a very, 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 very good game. And I think that also the Astros and Rays is another game you can consider the game of the day as well, too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we move forward from there. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and take a commercial break. And when I get back, we're going to talk those tickets. So you guys stay tuned. And this is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Captain.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right. And here we are. Let's go ahead and jump into our final segment of the show today, and that's going to be your favorite subject, my favorite subject. Let's go ahead and talk those tickets. All right, so pretty much up first, let's go ahead and jump into our first group. The pick 6 today is 51-1, and we have ourselves the Orioles with the -120 today on the road in Beantown going against the Red Sox, and then we have the Astros +135 today as well too. And actually that's not going to be the Orioles, it's actually going to be the Red Sox. I'm sorry, the Red Sox are the favorite. The game is going to actually be in Baltimore. I am so sorry about that, but the Red Sox are going to be your favorite for this game. I'm taking the Red Sox here as well too. I don't know why the Orioles are on there, but I'm looking at the ticket that I put together and it's the Red Sox. So the Red Sox -120. So go ahead and scratch out the Orioles at the -120. That's not the right bet. It's going to be the Red Sox at -120. Then we have the Astros, the dog of the day, +135. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. Then we also have the Reds today at home, +1.5. Hopefully they can get that bad boy home for us. Lodolo. Let's hope he can go ahead and have himself a great pitching day as well, too. We got the White Sox over 9 versus the Blue Jays tonight, so this should be a good one as well, too. Hopefully they go ahead and get it cracking over there at Sky Dome. And then we also have the under 7.5 with the Yankees and the Twins. That should be a good one. That's all about the pitching in that spot. And then we also have ourselves the Angels. The Angels are probably going to be in a place where a lot of people are going to feel very comfortable with the Angels in this game, but that doesn't mean that the Angels are a guaranteed winner. So I think what happens here is I'm just going to go ahead and say, let's not overspend on a money line. Let's just go ahead and take the 1.5 at -120. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, but we move forward from there. All right, here we are. The Bucks Heat game 4 bets. Bucks, I got them +7.5 tonight to cover. I'm not saying they win the game because I doubt they win the game, but I do say that they cover the game. The over 107 first half, I have that. Then we also had a Bucks first quarter -2, and then I have the over 113 team total with the Bucks. All right, so we have ourselves the Grizzlies and Lakers game 4 bets tonight. I'm going to go ahead and be a little bold and a little mannish here and take this -190 money line on the -190 money line on the Lakers tonight. Also, Lakers first half tonight as well too. Yeah, so -2 to the Lakers first half tonight, and then we're going to play the over first 54 in the first quarter. You know, this series has been going under, but that's because they keep having low-scoring halves and then a high-scoring half. Tonight, I think that we're going to have a much more high-scoring game here because there's just these guys they're used to each other. They know exactly what's coming now. We're 4 games into this thing. And then we finish up with the Grizzlies under 109 team total. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But that's going to be the Grizzlies Lakers game 4 bets. So there it is. And that's going to be Talking Tickets for today. And I thank you guys very much. Tomorrow is my birthday. So I should be doing a show. It don't matter if it's my birthday or not. We can still do a show. And pretty much Wednesday, I'll let you know because I'll be traveling to Kansas City tomorrow night. And I'll be covering the draft for the next few days. So hopefully I'll have time to do the show Wednesday. I'm looking forward to doing the show Thursday as well, too. And live from Kansas City. So that should be a lot of fun. And then Friday, for sure, I'll definitely be doing the show, even though I'm going to be coming back on a early morning flight. It doesn't really matter. I can get a few hours of sleep and I can get on up, and then I can talk to you guys about some sports. And, we can go ahead and get ourselves prepared for a great sports weekend. So it is what it is, man. And I thank you guys very much once again for tuning in. You guys are the absolute best. And I'll be back to you tomorrow. And you guys, as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving. And this is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the PrimeTime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And as I always say, I already said it. So love you, Pops. Thanks a lot for the birthday wishes as well, too, nephew. And we are gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.